Okay, so like I said, you're welcome to today's class. The class we're going to start working on today, the project we're going to start working on today will take us the rest of the class because it's going to be a very long job. We'll focus on the mobile. If you can open the website on mobile, you will see how it behaves. But this is the website here. Our focus will be on the mobile design first, and then we'll continue to do the rest as time will permit us. Or we'll do something. It's not good to just recreate what another person has done. But for the purpose of teaching, we'll do something very close to this so that you know how to manipulate hamburger, create all this hamburger menu and how to manipulate them. So that is our major interest. Our major interest is not to do exactly what is here. And also, we'll try to use some of the technologies or some of the styles, some of the effects that were used here. We're not going to use exactly what is there. This is the link again. So I'm just going to post it in the chat. I'm not going to post it in the chat so that we'll see it together. This is what we are trying to work on and to mimic. Okay. So if you view it in your phone, it will give you an idea of what we want to do. So we move straight to our VS Code. We open a folder in our series. Open a folder in our series 200. If no folder, since we don't have a folder yet, I just create one. We'll call it day9. I will select that folder. Wait for the system to load. While the system is loading, let's add other people that are just joining the class. Okay. So we have our folder here. So the first thing we're going to do, let's create a folder. This folder, we're going to call it script. Let's create another folder. This one, we're going to call it styles. Then let's create a file. This file, we're going to call it index.html. Inside the styles, we're going to create a folder, we call it size.css. Inside the script, we're going to create a folder, we call it main.javascript. So these are the three folders we're going to work with. So we'll start with the HTML. So we have our usual doc type. We have our HTML. Please, if my mic is off or you cannot see my screen, do call my attention. So language. Let's ask for meta tags. But the character set UTF-8. Meta name viewport content with report the device and with initial scale. Report to 1.0. And we can give it a title of about doing this stuff. Okay, this time around, okay, it doesn't matter about doing this stuff. Okay, so then we have to link our CSS link where style sheets href size of the folder plus size of the office. The next one is we will need a special kind of CSS, one CSS framework for us to be able to implement fully what is there. So we're going to bring it in. And that type of CSS, that CSS framework is called Tailwind. So we use the Tailwind CDN to bring in Tailwind. Okay. That is all we have in the head for now. Sorry, we should have put all these things in the head. Okay. Let's copy them inside the head body. So Let's admit more people. It's okay. So we go back to our code. In the body, we are going to have a class. Sorry, we're going to have a class, a further class, anti-alert. This is because we are using adding Tailwind, so it's not just going to be normal CSS and JavaScript that we know. So let's work on the nav bar, which is one of the major things that if we can finish it, I wouldn't talk about the rest part of this work. I'll be satisfied. So we're going to put that nav bar into the header tag. And you know, there are many things in that header. So we'll try as much as we can to accommodate them. So first of all, we say that we are going to do some inline CSS here because of Tailwind. We'll say class is equals to big as background in white. We have a shadow that needs to be sticky, off to be 0, and Z index 50. So this is how you write Tailwind CSS. Background white, shadow medium, sticky. You want it to be sticky so that it can move and the other part can be flowing while it remains. Then top Z is that's the Z index should be 50. Apart from that, inside it, we're going to have a div. And inside that div, we'll have a class. I'll call it container. Remember, we're trying as much as we can to build a project that is like the one that I've been shown. And for us to do that effectively, we need to bring in Tailwind CSS. We can also do it with normal CSS, but it's going to take us more time. So we're trying to achieve this with as much little time as we have. So we are going to have another div inside this header. That div is going to have a class. If you are confused, we will still explain as we go on with the lecture. Let's justify in items at the center, page value of 16. Then we have link. Inside the link, we have bones effect. We're going to have a href. I'm going to be linked to this page. Then we have a class. On the font, it will be bold, text, gray, 900 width, on hover, text with blue, and 600. With transition. Okay. So on the same line, we'll now bring in our navigation. Navigation is going to have a class building the flex space x 8. Then we'll have all our links inside. Home, services, about, contact. Okay. Then we'll add href to all of them. Now we link it to the pages where we are. Because what we're working on is just one page. Uh, So let's also give it a class. Class, let's make the text to be gray. The weight of 600 over effect and the text. change blue rate of 6,000. Font limited. I'll do the same thing here. Last, first to text over and do the same thing for services. Then for about, also bring in class. I'll do the same thing. Class. 3%. Now, let's look at what we have been able to achieve so far. Let's try to do what we have done. Okay, this is what we have done so far. Okay. Then, if you check, you will notice that there is if you view it in the mobile, you will notice that there is a button here. So that's what we're going to try to do. Okay. Any question? Okay. So we'll continue. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do, remember we're still using the HTML, is to create mobile button. I've said before. And use the button. Give it an ID, mobile, email, working. Class, exam, student, teacher, make it rounded, the text to be great, the rate of 700 on over, ground to be great, focus to the low 500. And for us to have that icon that is there, to bring in SVG, ID, menu, icon, open, class, H6, W6, 0, none, 0, false, 0, 0, 4, 4. Good. Alright. Okay. So as VG comes back, so add it, add to line up and to line join and to use to use and for use this one 6 10 7 this page 7. So there's another SVG, SVG, just copy this and we adjust it to the icon open, menu icon close. Every other thing remains the same except the down parts that I'm going to change now. D will be M-Swiss, M-Swiss, 1-8, L-1-8, this M-Swiss, this L-1-2, 1-2. Okay, so we are done with this. Let's see what we have achieved so far. Okay, let's try to notice if we are designing mobile first. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Let us also add the mobile name. What we added was the mobile button. We add the mobile name. Mobile name will start with the view. ID, mobile name, class, let's review this. Medium, ground, right, shadow, and inside it, we're going to have a view. Finally, we have a class of pixel, of two pixel, and two space y one. And we can now add our links. So we have a class we're going to use for all of them. Block into three, one, two, step three, around up, over. Ground, this, two, rounded with of home. So we do the same for the other guys. That is wow. In fact, so with that, we can stay up from the header. Then we move into the main. Yeah. So check. Well, I'm supposed to see the effect of what we're doing by now. We'll check while it is slow. Okay. Because I thought as much that something is just RSU. The next time then now loading the CDN. Okay. So see what we have now. It doesn't set. We have the two buttons that was added here already. So This is where the problem was coming from. It was not picking the Tailwind CSS doing. Okay. So check for you see those mobile icons that are there. So if you go outside of the header for now and continue with the main, what are the things you want to happen in the main? First, we are going to define the main view. The main view is a specialized kind of view. So, of name and so of class, condition, L, relation, from the first, we are going to have our hero image, kind of the big welcoming something. I will design that in the section to give the session a class. UI. So, so text center. I do I want to do shadow text large. E plus container on not to x 4 and have h1 that h1 going to have getting the picture on solution of the time. Let's give the class of text or fl sm text I fl font extra bold md 4 review Let's check what we've done. Okay. Next, next we're going to have to use is a free class. The view is a class, and that view is going to have one view set. You will in fact to software that drive progress and create the your body. So give it a class of text, large, or stand, text, pass it to 90 marks of you full extra and also view element is on. Okay. So this paragraph is supposed to be inside. Let's take it inside the D. Let's put it inside the control. Because it was touching the edges, meaning that we didn't put it where we are supposed to put it. Okay. So we can have another section that talks about story. Let's even see whether it's the same location. So we are not doing exactly what is here. You can see we'll just pick some things and work with it. So you can get this effect and then our Twitter. You are okay. Just to show how we can implement something of that nature. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is to do another section inside the name. I'm going to call that section story. Story. What's story? Going to start section of a story. In that section is going to have a class of UI16, padding of the y-axis, mid UI, length. Okay? So this thing we refer to, we are doing the media query at the same time when you are working in Tailwind. UI is you're talking about padding, and since we are designing mobile first, the main UI will be smaller than that of medium, and you can also add that of large. For now, just for the phone and maybe the tablet for medium screen. So we are doing the media query at the same time. That's why you see many things are inside. Next one is if. And that is we have a class with container. Imagine X auto, adding X for and read colon one. Else read colon two. Gap ref items center. And we'll have another div class review element. H two class section title x test sn text for xl font extra bold have a button it's text with our story. Yeah. Okay. So let's add any questions so far. Do you have any question? Please attend some questions. Do you have any question? Okay.
No,
Follow the blessing. Say you have question. Okay, say below.
no.
Okay. It's okay. Thank you. So let's continue. Let's add a class, sorry, a paragraph that will has the remaining things in that class. Let us put something 100, 90, 8, 90, 190 by fraction is still again. So let's also style it. Yeah, text that is large, text there, width of 700, margin bottom 6. And leading, relax. And you can also add another paragraph there. From a small startup to a global team, from a small startup to a global team. Okay. And so, like I said, we will use this today and tomorrow. So My intention is to for us to stay here till 10. But I think we're going to cut the class short as I speak. So we'll continue with the remaining part by tomorrow. But so far, this is what we have done. If you have a question, please go ahead and ask. Remember, building media mobile ready. So see how it is. We have not worked on this part, but at least you see it here. Mobile first design and see here. So what we will do at the point is that when it is mobile, these things will work on it in CSS and JavaScript to make sure that it is functioning well. Any question? Okay, if there's no question, we will call it a day. If you have a question, please ask. If there's no question, we'll call it a day. Okay, thank you very much.